Hey, everybody, welcome to the Stronger Than Steel podcast. And I have my very extra special first guest, Danielle. Thanks for coming onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's an honor. You put up quite the impressive performance not too long ago.
Oh,
Ranked
thank
currently
you.
second highest powerlifting total in SA history for a female. Like, tell us how you feel about that.
Well, I know it's not going to be the second highest for very long, depending on when this comes up. Rowan is competing at Iron Gladiators, so I'm 150% sure she's going to bump me down to third. But I am enjoying, being like top of the hill, king of the hill, while the time lasts. So yeah, because I put my dots because I really wanted to be according to dots, I want to really be the highest like scoring female powerlifter in SA. So I am currently number one. I outranked Danielle. So that was like something that I really wanted to achieve. I didn't ever think it was going to happen, but being able to do that was like insane because I have the most amount of respect for her. And I didn't even do it by a lot, but just like being able to, to say that I got to number one. But yeah, so no, I'm very happy with what I did. Obviously, always happy, never satisfied. But we went in with a goal, and my big goal for the day was to total 570. I really wanted that, and we ended up totaling 2.5 kilos heavier. So no, I'm over the moon, very happy. And yeah, starting Monday, I'm going into off season for Elite Raw.
Dude, you're totaling you're totaling more than some men do. That's actually like that's insane. Actually, that's freaking insane.
I, well, I always just like tell them that like probably medically I'm more of a man than a woman at the moment. So, just joking, guys. Please don't like send me ideas for cycles. No, it is like very strange for me when I do see that, but I also realize that I have been working so long and so hard on this, and a lot of the times when I do our total men, it's they just like started like 6 months ago, or they
Yeah.
haven't been doing this for very long. So, and obviously, I have a great coach on my side. I have amazing facilities because I train at my mom's gym. So if I need something,
Nice.
Tammy John provides. So I do have like all of these things on my side. So I don't ever look down on when someone does total less than me and they happen to be of the male persuasion. Um, but yeah, but I do. It's
You,
like it
you,
does give
you
me a
are
little. It does give me a little bit of an ego boost, but then like
you
instantly
are you
afterwards,
are
like no,
way
Danielle.
you are way better a human being than I would if I was a female. If I was out totally, I swear, if I gender swapped for a day, my entire mission in life would be to show up to every guy in the gym and be like, "Are you
It's
done
like,
today?
oh,
We're
yeah, I'm
done."
done. Yeah, like then I have like 300 kilos on the bars. Like, oh no, I'm just gonna do this for rips, bro.
And that would be my mission in life if I was a female.
Like I'm not gonna lie, like when I started out doing powerlifting and then when I started like realizing like, oh yeah, no, she's strong for a goal. There was this very intense need of me to like to prove to all the men in the gym like I am stronger than you. But with age I calmed down. It's just like whatever.
But let's rewind back a little bit. Like where, because you actually came out of the scene relatively out of the blue. Like what's your background when you start
Yes.
training, when you get into powerlifting? Like tell us
Uh,
about that.
so I was in a little fatty when I was in school. I was always very overweight, had no issues with it. I didn't like sport. I hate team sport because I can't work with people. And I'm an only child, so I'm used to like doing my own thing. So I never did sport in school and I was just bad at it. I was an art nerd. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see there's like some stuff behind me. That's like all of my old drawings. Um, and then I went to go study photography in 2016, and then I picked up a ton of weight. And then I realized, like, I wasn't unhappy with the fact that I put on weight or how I looked. I just realized that, oh, down the line, if I do decide to lose weight, it's going to be a very big mission having to lose 50 kilos instead of losing 30 kilos.
Fair.
Because, it like accrues interest over a while. So then I just like started doing cardio, like hella cardio, hated every moment of it. And then I started weight training because something like connected in my brain, and I was like, oh, the more muscle I have, the more I can eat. And that's kind of like yeah, and that's like kind of the point where all of this came from, because the girl just wanted to eat a shitload of food. And then I saw powerlifting like on the periphery, like on Instagram. I knew of it, but I wasn't very into it. Like I was going on like bodybuilding.com and getting like Arnold's like training programs. Like, honey, I did push and pull days for ages. And so then I did that, and then the one day I went to Earl in Worcester, Earl Abrams, because he was my trainer. He's still my trainer, but we were training more like weights at that stage. And then I told him, like, I've seen this powerlifting thing, like I'm curious, like what would I be able to bench, squat, bench and deadlift. And we did it, and that was like in August of 2018. And yeah, I never stopped training since. Like the bug bit me, and then I was doing my degree then, and then as soon as I was like busy with my final exams, I did my first log and deadlift comp. And then the next day I wrote my last exam, and then ever since then I've just been focusing on powerlifting, really.
No, so it's actually quite impressive how much you've gone from like in like 4 years of like powerlifting training. Like, well your actual first powerlifting meet total to your meet total now. Like, what's
it's a big difference, because my first powerlifting meet total was like I just went into token lifts because I just wanted to qualify for nationals, because my big goal, because it was last year, my big goal for powerlifting was just to I just wanted to go to nationals. I really just wanted to pitch up to nationals. So I did I think I totaled like 460. I did a 170 squats, a 90 bench, and a 200 deadlift. Because I just wanted to qualify for nationals, and I went to nationals and I qualified. My big goal for nationals was to qualify over 500. So I did 505.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you there. So your first powerlifting total was last year, 2021, right?
Yes.
Now, from starting in August 2018, doing log and deadlift comp, 2021.
No, 2020. 2020 was the log and deadlift comp.
2020, okay. 2018 to 2020, like what took you that long to start competing?
That's actually such a loaded question, Ed. I can't do good in a lot of things. Like I am just like one of those people. I get like completely absorbed into like one thing. So I was just like busy with my degree, and I was just like, I need to do amazing in this. Because I knew as soon as I switched over into competing, there wasn't going to be an off switch or like putting the dimmer on. It was going to be all or nothing. So I wanted to get that out of the way, because I really enjoyed doing my degree, and I really wanted to get like good marks, and I really wanted to excel in that. So as soon as that was finished, I was like, okay, I can switch into like powerlifting mode now and really focus on doing well in this, because I have the time now and I have the energy. So because I can't balance a lot of things at the same time. So that was just like, for me, I wanted to finish that, and then I wanted to give my all to powerlifting, because I was curious to see what was going to happen. I didn't expect to win nationals that year. I just wanted, I just really wanted to total over 500. That's all that I wanted. And then from there, I got my invite to Elite Raw, and then it's been like a crazy roller coaster since.
That's actually insane, because when you said like you wanted to total over 500, like 505 was I think my first total ever. Like the first day I powerlifted was a 505 total, and back then I was impressed with myself.
But how long were you training for the 505 total?
I mean, I had a couple years of like weight training and just general bodybuilding like that. It was literally, I did my first powerlifting total, and then I was like, okay, cool, let's start actually powerlifting. So like I did
fair enough.
Training.
Okay, I'm going to take that though. Okay, we totaled the same at our first call. I'm going to take that if you're going to give it to me.
It's a hell of a more impressive for you than it is for me. For those of you who don't know, you and I got a little bit of going on.
Yes, you have like hella beef going on.
So if I remember the ground rules correctly, is I have the whole of 2023 to beat the dots you just did this weekend.
Yes, and that dots is quite high. So either you need to lose like 20 kilos, or you need to add like 100 kilos to your total.
I was thinking to myself, I need to add. I did the calculations. I would need to drop 10 kilos of body weight and increase my total by 40 something on, almost 50 kilos to get that dot. I'm like, motherfucker! I challenged the wrong person.
You did, because I was like the one that I was like sitting there, I was like, you know what, this is too easy, because I actually went to go check, because for those of you who also don't know, the original bet was he just wanted to be 300 kilos ahead of me. And then I went and opened powerlifting, and I was like, no, this fucking guy is already like 300 kilos ahead of me. Like, if I hit my 570 total, you're already 300 kilos ahead of me. So like, what would be the point? Like, this is so lame. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be very spicy, and I'm going to call you out on my story. And I'm just going, no, you need to beat my dots now, because this is just unfair. Because I'm fighting a losing battle here.
I'm a competitive person too. So I could have easily been like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But I'm like, before I even checked, I'm like how high could a dot possibly even go?
Possibly. Because I was nice. I was nice. I did warn you beforehand. Like, I did tell you it's going to be like, I think I told you it's going to be 540 plus. So I told you like my dots, we're looking at a 540 plus dots. So I did at least warn you.
You did. Now when is the dots officially? Remind me.
I think it's 559.
559, yeah. Listen,
I think it's 559.
559. Big difference when it comes to dots, eh?
It's a very big difference. It's a very big difference, yes.
So fun times. I this last week I trained harder than I've ever trained a day in my life. So
I'm glad. Okay, good. Like, nothing would make me happier than losing that bet. Like, honestly, like, fuck my shit up, man. Like, I'm holding thumbs you with.
But like what I'm loving right now is that the because there was a bit of for lack of a better word, a lagging period in like the competitive nature of the female powerlifting scene as in terms of like people hitting those elite totals.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that right now, like that seems to be like there's going to be a lot of shuffling on that. We used to have like a top 12 list that I can't remember. I think Michael Snook or someone was posting back in the day, and the female list didn't change much in that time.
Yeah,
shifting quite a bit.
The vanguard on the female list is still very much the same. Like I said, I think Danielle has been like the top of the leaderboard for the past maybe 5-6 years. I could be wrong, but she has been there for like forever, and the top 4 has been consistently the same. So yeah, so no, it's like I said, it's insane. Like, I just started coming up when Rowan was picking up like a lot of steam, and when she was like, she is poised to, you know, be the best of the best. And so we're in a very, very interesting time now in female powerlifting, and now with Jade, who competed yesterday, hits a 505 dots. So no, it's very interesting, and like, because I went to go check on Open Powerlifting, that means she ranks top 5 now. So it's like the list is finally changing. So yeah, no, it's a very exciting time to be a female powerlifter in South Africa, and I think also just like generally to be a powerlifter in South Africa, because all of like, especially like the Western Cape guys are picking up steam. No, and like, I mean, if you look at Colton, Nicholas, all those people, it's insane. So no, it's a very great time to be a powerlifter in South Africa, but also in the world in general. If you see, like, there are women in the 75 class totaling over 700 kilos. I mean, Christy Hawkins recently totaled, I think, 720 on 75 body weight, which is insane.
That is.
Um,
If a guy was to total that at under 75, that would be impressive. Oh.
And yeah, and it's like a woman doing that. So no, it's like, I mean, Hunter Henderson, I squatted 305, I think, on 82 body weight, or in the 82 class. So no, it's like, it's a very exciting time to be a powerlifter. So it's definitely a very exciting time to be a powerlifter.
To get to the more controversial side of things, like how much do you feel, in your opinion, does PEDs and the like sort of like affect performances like that? Like what PEDs are elite level lifters like yourself using? Are you using dosages, that sort of thing? If you don't mind delving into that.
It was the other day, I was chatting with Jens, and I was like telling him about like my cycle or something, and his girlfriend is like, "Is Danielle on gear?" It's like, of course. How did you miss that? I always try to be as open as much as possible. Like even this past weekend when I was competing, I was like chatting with a lady, and she asked me like, "How are you so strong?" And I was like, "Ma'am, I train really hard, and I'm on a ton of steroids." And then like the look of her face, she's just like, "What?" I always say I'm in a lot, but I run a very light cycle at the moment. But back to the original question. It obviously makes a big difference. Otherwise, we wouldn't be on them. But again, I always like try to say like it's a performance enhancer. It enhances what you do. It's not a performance giver. So I could be running Taste Halo Train like the whole shebang. If I'm not putting in my time at the gym, it's not going to do anything. If I'm not going to eat correct,
a lot of people haven't crossed that line. Don't actually know. It's like, listen, that's not. It's not the magic pill that's sold.
No.
If anything, it gives you the ability to train harder than you otherwise would.
Yes. My big thing is when people like ask me about like the strength gains that, like, for example, Anavar gains. It's like, yo, no, Anavar is like cool and stuff, but it's more about it speeds up your recovery time so you can push harder for longer and recover better for tomorrow's session. Because I have a very idiosyncratic training schedule because I train Monday, Tuesday. On Wednesdays, I have a mobility and rehab day. And then on Thursdays, I deadlift. And then on Fridays, I have a secondary bench day. So I essentially train for 5 days, solidly, like in a block, like, no, back to back. So for me, recovery is so important. So for me, when I look at steroids and when I look at gear, I look at my recovery process because at the end of the day, that's going to be most important. When I started training with Martin, I halved my cycle, just like in the middle, because it was just I was training like I had never trained before, and I was seeing such like gains, and I was like, I don't need to make up for like shitty programming with all of this gear at the moment. I can just like scale it back and then run a very light cycle off season, and then I can just like increase it normally when I go into prep. So no, it made like the world of difference, and that's what also people don't understand. It's like you can take all the steroids in the world. If you show up to the gym and you don't know what you're doing and you follow a shitty training program and you're not doing the nutrition, it's not going to give you any benefit, because if you go into a gym, most of those guys, they are on gear, they just don't fucking look like it.
Yep. Yeah, it's way more widespread than people actually realize. Like, doing 12 kg curls is probably also on gear. He just looks
like he's probably on more gear than like the power lifter, like squatting like 200 in the corner.
It's actually like it used to be such a hush thing, because I've been training in some shape, way, or form since like 2010 maybe 2009 is when I started training gym bro style.
I was still in primary school then. God, Edgar, you're old.
It was long. I was like in the 10th or 11th grade when I started.
You're so old.
I keep forgetting how young you are. I've done that.
I'm still a child.
But like from back then to now, I'm like how prolific gear use is. On like, I have newbies who like my first day in the gym was yesterday. Which cycle should I go on? I'm like, dude, like earn the right.
The fucking spinning cycle, my guy. Why are you asking this?
No, it's insane what people get up to. It's so prolific now, and I find it's the people who don't know what they're doing, both training, nutrition, and gear use wise, are the people who sort of like all the nasty side effects associated with gear use. It tends to follow those guys who don't actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, and there's always then they'll be like, yo, no, I like hurt my back in like 95 different places because I was like throwing tren, and it's like, dude, like a fucking course. Because what people also don't understand is like your muscles get stronger, but it doesn't like at a very rapid pace, but it doesn't necessarily mean your joints are getting stronger at the same pace. So they overload themselves and then they hurt themselves like fucked up, can never train again. And then they blame it on the gear, or they get like massive gyno or all this other cuck. And then it's like, oh, steroids, bro. And then it's like, no, it's just you were being dumb. There is no other way to put it. Like I was also dumb back in the day. I have run cycles that there's this one story I took against everyone's like advice. I decided I'm gonna like take a Arimidex for a few days to see what happens. I thought I was going to die. I was laying in bed hoping that I don't wake up because I just wanted to be dead. I felt so bad. And my mom rushed me to the doctor because I was like, oh, no, I feel so sick. I feel so ill. And then he was like, Danielle, don't. And then, you know, and that was like a very big wake-up call. Like, was it dumb to do? Yes, but I learned my lesson. And it's like that thing, yes, like we are all very dumb when we are young and when we start getting into this thing, but you have to understand that you need to be very responsible. I wasn't responsible. I didn't do research. I just like saw this and I was like, well, it's anti-estrogen. I have a little bit too much estrogen, like according to myself. Let's see what happens. And like the results were horrific. So we all make mistakes, but just like own up that you are being an idiot and actually do the research. Don't be a Danielle. Do the research.
So like what's a typical cycle look like for you now? Like what compounds are you using? Are you stacking them? Are you Anavar just
Okay, so I'm on Anavar and Primo, the orals. I don't like. People are going to roll their eyes for me about this, but it's fine. I am like intensely afraid of needles. So I have never used asterisk. I have never used a depot. I just don't do it because I can't imagine like injecting myself with like a needle like that, like more than once a week. And even if I would be able to get away with it like once a month, because I would love to be on test prop, but I can't like do the needle thing. I did, however, when I tore, like I had a very minor tear in my hamstring last year before nationals, and 3 times a week I did inject TB500 into my hamstring.
Okay.
And every time I cried, like 3 times a week, I was just like laying there in bed crying because I really didn't want to inject myself with like a little insulin needle. So now I'm a pussy.
Were you injecting your own hamstring?
No.
I can't imagine, like there's certain spots on my body I don't want to touch with the needle, and like my hamstring seems like I know.
And it's like it was very high, and it's like very high up in my hamstring. It's like almost touches the glute, so that was really bad. So no, I had someone that had to inject me, but I was just like laying in bed, like absolutely crying, like waiting for the like injection. So no, I'm a pussy. Like I claim it. It's fine.
I've pinned myself thousands of times over the years. I still don't like it. I still like sit there and like, do I have to fucking do this today?
Do I have to do it? Yeah, so no, it's just like a mental thing that I just have not been able to overcome. And now the thing that I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for, I am a Psalm goblin. I take like 2.5 milligrams of testosterone rad 140 because
Okay.
obviously I can't go on taste. So
Next
yes,
next
I'm a little
best
bit of a salt.
thing.
Next best thing, I know it's not ideal, but it's something that I have made peace with, and I haven't had any really bad side effects of it yet, like I did with, for example, the aromatics. So no, I run a very light cycle, but those are like my three like main compounds.
Okay. And in terms of side effects, like what have you noticed? Like are there anything like bearable, unbearable, light?
Nothing unbearable. I have always had a problem with facial hair. Like I had to start waxing my upper lip when I was like 12. Um, yeah, so that's just all like those little problems is just worse. So I'm just like a little bit more hairy than I usually am. I've always had a weak hairline, so don't come for me and my weak hairline. It's always been like that. I don't have extra hair loss. Please, guys. Be sensitive. So no, it's just basically just facial hair. Obviously, body hair is a lot more. I did for a while. I was on Ostarine, and I stopped it off using it like after like 4 or 6 weeks. I just used it for one cycle, and I was like, nah, because it gave me a really severe body acne, and that's like a no go. But furthermore, like I've always had like a slight bit of a skin problem when my diet wasn't great while I
Mm.
was on my cycle. I would get like quite severe acne, but that has subsided. But yeah, I haven't like had any really severe side effects that is something to write home about. Like I've always had a bit of a deeper voice. It's probably a little bit more deeper now, but not like so much that it's noticeable. Um, yeah, so it's things that I can honestly live with. I do get my blood work done every 6 months, and everything is normal under the circumstances. My creatinine levels are obviously a little bit high, but it's just because
Yeah.
I'm on like a bunch of orals, obviously. But other than that, like I'm quite healthy. I've never, but the big thing that I always tell women when they come to me if they want to start going on a cycle is like, I have no desire to have children ever. So for me, like, oh yeah, because I don't get a period, but it's not really as tied to the fact that tied to my cycle than it is to my training. But because I can be on gear, and if I stop training, I will get my period.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I always tell them that I have no desire to have children. It's something that I worked out for myself a long time ago. So for me, gambling with the fact that I might become infertile, it's not an issue for me because I don't want them in the first place. So it's not really a gamble that I'm taking. It's something that I'm completely fine with. If I do wake up one day, let's say when I'm 40 and I really want a child, I've never been against the idea of surrogacy or adoption or something in that line because I can't imagine myself being pregnant, but that's a whole different story. So for
I mean
me,
that's fair.
that's fine for me to gamble on my fertility because it's not something that I'm going to miss. But for other women, I was like, you really need to sit and ask yourself, are you willing to gamble with this? Because some people, run heavy cycles and they find they have children, but other people aren't so
Yeah, yeah.
lucky.
It's very individual what your
Yes,
particular genetic makeup is like, what
mm,
you've been running, the amounts you've been running, how
exactly.
long you've been running them. So it is. I like the word used. It's a gamble. It's
Yes,
you're rolling the dice, however smartly or unsmartly, and hoping things work out
yeah.
the way you want.
Yeah, because you don't really have control over how your body is going to react to something. You can cycle something so clever as you want. You might be on the brink of being infertile in any case for whatever genetic reasons, or you just have a predisposition to you have maybe less egg cells or something like that, and you never know. So those things are definitely things to get checked out beforehand so that you know like what you are working with.
Okay, so tell me, how do your like, friends and family feel about your position on all this? Like, it's I find it's the people who are not in the sport are the
Yeah.
ones who are a little bit less understanding of like what comes with it.
My dad actually came for the first time to watch a powerlifting comp like this weekend when I like competed because he never knew what I did. Or I'm under the impression that he didn't really know. Like he knew I lifted weights, but if it was like bodybuilding or CrossFit or like even like weightlifting, I
Yeah.
he didn't really know like the specifics. Um, so he actually came to come watch it, which was very like out of left field for me. And then it was kind of amazing because like my dad is a man of very few words. And then the next day, he was chatting to one of his workers, and he was like I knew she was strong, but I didn't realize she was that fucking strong.
Love that.
So that was like really cute. So I have a very incredible support system. I have a very healthy balance of friends that are in the community and friends outside of the community. So because otherwise, if you only socialize with people within the community, it does tend for me. I feel a little bit suffocated by it because it's like it's all I do all the time. It's all I think about. It's all I talk about. So like yesterday, I had the longest lunch with my one friend, and we chatted about so many things, and we didn't really dwell on powerlifting. Like I told her about my competition, she told me about her weekend, and we chatted about like everything else. It doesn't. They do know that I do well in the sport, but it's not. They're happy for me, because they're obviously there with me like through the whole thing. It's like because I do occasionally talk about like I had a bad training week or something like that, but it's not the be all and end all. They don't know me as Danielle the powerlifter. They know me as Danielle the person first, and then the
Yeah.
powerlifter second. Yeah. So no, I have a very great support system. My mom has not like ever missed a competition ever. She's always there. And yeah, and my friends are very, very supportive of me. So no, it's very well balanced.
No, but that's awesome. That's awesome. It's good to have a support system in the sport. I find
And
I find for me,
it's very
I like
important.
keeping the two halves separate. Like I've told my parents and stuff. Like listen, because my parents have each come to a couple of my comps over the years, and I'm
Yeah.
like I don't actually like having you there, and they were kind of offended. Because when they're there, I have to because let's be honest, powerlifting, if you're not a powerlifter, can be a very boring spectator sport.
Oh no, definitely.
Squat, another guy squatted, he squatted more, he squatted. So I'm like, I feel the need to like in between entertain them a little bit. And I'm like, I don't actually have the mental capacity to entertain you right now. It's easier for me to just tell you, here are the videos, I did great, thanks for the cheers, and then that's it.
Yeah. No, luckily my mom loves attending these things because she cheers for everyone like so loud. If you like watch anyone like
your mom from Elite Raw, and actually
she's very into it. So no, like you can like any of like it's like the funniest thing to me whenever you go to a comp where I was and the people post the videos afterwards, you can like distinctly hear Punny John like screaming like very loud. So she's into it. I don't think my dad would ever come watch a comp again because we had like the comp day was very long to begin with. We were like 38 people competing, so it was a long day. So I don't think he would easily come to watch again, but I don't know. It's like, I always feel so bad when people's parents don't come watch them. It's like, don't they want to see you? Don't they want to come support you?
I'll maybe let my mom come to Elite Raw next year if I end up doing it.
She gets it next to my mom.
It'll have to be an important comp. It'll have to be an important one, not just a qualifier or something.
Yeah, no, it'd have to be like a top dog competition. But if she comes, she can sit next to my mom. Tony John will entertain her.
Fun over mutual.
Like our children. Like, oh, look at our kids go.
Speak of Elite Raw next year. What are your competitive plans in the year coming?
Well, I'm definitely going to do Elite Raw if I get an invite. And that's like my favorite thing to say to people. It's like, yeah, if I get an invite.
Yeah. No. In a long list of competitors, a lot of people have done well this year. If they,
yeah,
if
you
they
never know. Like if you never know. Anything can happen. Um, But yeah, I'm definitely going to do Elite Raw. I do have Martin and I, we have a total in mind. We went for lunch and then we were just like sitting there and he was like, I have a number. And I was like, I also have a number. And then we like mixed it around a bit and then we got like a place in between. So we have a number that we want to go for, which is very exciting. And then after that, I'm just going to take the longest off season because I really want to build. I have an ultimate goal that I am working towards. So I want to get as close to that, obviously, as possible. But yeah, and then in the future, I'm holding thumbs that because I did qualify to compete in the Ghost Clash this year in both the wrapped and sleeved categories. I just didn't get an invite, which is fair enough. I'm not really a well-known powerlifter. But yeah, no, I'm hoping in the future that I do get an invite to one of the bigger comps, like international comps. That would be really cool.
Well, listen, the total you just pulled is going to make waves, I'm sure, in the powerlifting scene. Yeah. So next year, you never know.
Because this comp wasn't really an important comp. We just did it because I joined Badger in just after Elite Raw. Like I joined them in beginning June. So this comp was more of a taste run, so that Martin can see how to coach me and how to approach a prep with me, because I am a very finicky lifter. Like I'm very sensitive to fatigue. There's certain movements that I don't do well under, and then where other movements that I get amazing progress of. I see great progress of. So we played around a little bit to see what we can do, because we would rather make mistakes on our way to the Droga demolition than we do on our way to draw. So this comp, all in all, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't really important. It was just a matter of like a taste run. But next year Elite Raw is going to be a very, very big comp for me. So yeah, so we're working. So this comp was merely a stepping stone to that one. It was part of the prep process. So we're like, yeah, I'm very excited to do Elite Raw. I'm saying this now because I'm so far away from it. Sorry, chat to me again in April or like in March, and I'm going to be a wreck of a person.
People don't understand. Like as soon as you start competition prep, you start like working towards something special. How grueling it can be on the body.
I have to say, this prep, my Droga demo prep, was definitely hands down the most physically exhaustive thing I've ever done. But my prep for Elite Raw this year was emotionally drained me. That was the most. Yeah, that was like the most emotional, exhausting thing I've ever done. And this one, like, where physically I was fine, but emotionally I was just like spent. Whereas this one, emotionally I was on like a really good place, but my body was just like falling apart under the stress. Because I hate like the last 8 weeks, like before a comp. I absolutely despise it. When the weights get heavier, I don't like it.
Yeah, which is funny to say actually as a powerlifter. Like, heavyweight. I'm like, no, it's. I've always told people like, deep off season, happy. Like I love deep off season.
Yes.
I'm having fun. I'm enjoying training. The weights are kind of heavy, but it's for sets of 5 and 6, which is not too cardio-y. It's not too extreme. It's good. And you get into like comp prep, and I hate comp prep. I love competition day, like the day of the comp. Okay. But like everything leading into the everything hurts. I was sore when I walked into the gym, and on sore legs I have to squat fucking again.
No, I'm like I absolutely despise competing. I hate it. The fact that I have to do it like so back to back now is like it really annoys me. But I just like keep reminding myself it's a means to end, Danielle. After May next year, chill. You're gonna have like the longest off season because like off season for me it's just like you're not fighting with the weights, you're fighting with yourself, because it's like, oh, I have to do so many reps, but it's not like the weight is heavy, so you're not like going into the gym knowing, for example, I have to deadlift 170 for 12, it's like I know for a fact I can get it up for at least 10. It's just like that last two, but it's a gamble. Let's see what happens. But walking into the gym, like on the day that you have to squat 200, it's like, is this going to move once?
Yeah. It's like if today's a really bad day, I might be floored.
Yeah, because I did like my phone broke, so I lost the video. But my last heavy squat session before the demolition, I squatted 200. I was supposed to do it for 2 reps. I got it for 1 and bombed out the second rep. So I was like going into comp day like, oh no.
It reminds me of my prep internationals this year.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, after Elite Raw, my body refused to bounce back. Like absolutely, it was just done.
It's because you're old now.
I'm old now. I don't recover as well as I used to.
Because you're old.
I'm giving you 75% power, and that's all you're ever gonna get. So like in training, I failed a 280 deadlift. Like it was stuck to the floor, and I'm like, I did a 360 4 weeks ago.
Just the other day, yes.
4 weeks ago, I did a 360. I can't pick 280 off the ground. Like it's just like body was like. It was like it's not even like I'm sore or something's hurt. It's just my body was like, nah, screw
like, no.
So heading international, I was like, I'm either gonna total 600 or I'm gonna total 800. I don't know where it's going.
Whatever happens, happens. But you ended up.
I wanted to do Iron Gladiators at the end of the year. And
Yeah.
I was like, nah, off season.
No. Because you did well at nationals. You won open male, right?
Yeah, I won the open male. Only because Colton, in his wisdom, decided not to enter the open. And I was like,
he's still a young lad. It's like, oh, that's so nice of him, though. He gave you a win.
He gave me a win. But you know what? Being handed a win like that, like everyone else has to remind me I technically won open male. I don't count it. I'm like, it was a victory. I don't care. I want to win it.
It's like the same with me. It's like when people talk about that I won Elite Raw. It's like, I only won by default because Danielle and Rowan fell out. I would not have won under any other circumstances. So I completely understand where you're coming from. It is like it's like the victory isn't sweet. It's kind of just like
it's like it's a cool thing that happened, and now I want to move past and actually like get to the next thing.
Yeah, obviously, I think it's like for anyone, it's just like you want to win on your own merits and not because like a technicality.
It's exactly. I want for instance, I have besides you, I got a beef with Seapo the bear.
Yes, with the bear.
and now
you have so many beefs.
I'm it's how I keep myself motivated. I'm like, I've been powerlifting
for so long.
Right. Yeah. Keep me going. But now,
I love how you like. Yeah.
Him and I are exactly tied on an 870 total. Exactly tied. But in my mind, he's ahead of me because the only reason he got an 870 is because he had a bad day, and I got an 870 on a good day. So I'm like, that's not the same thing, even though we're technically tied. So I'm like, I want him, whatever his next meet is, I want him firing on all cylinders. I want him at his best. And if I beat him at his best, then it means something. If he bombs out on something, it's like a hollow victory.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Yeah, I think once you get to like competing at such a high level, it's those types of things like really stick with you. Because it's like, I don't know. I felt very demotivated when everybody started falling out for Elite Raw because it was just like, I wanted to go, because I really wanted to go and I wanted to lose because it's like, I'm not going to be the best there, but I want to go and do the best that I have. And I want the other people to win me because that's what they worked for. And it's like, if I'm not the best, I don't want to win.
Yeah. I'm exactly.
It's like I feel that for my soul. Like I need to know I was the best, and that there's this thing that Samara Polster told me like ages ago, and she's like, "Be undeniable," and that's something that I do carry with me always because it's like I don't want other people to be able to look at me and it's like, yeah, but the only reason you won is because they weren't there, or the only reason you won is because the judge was nice to you and gave you depth, or the only reason that you won is whatever, whatever. And it's like, I want to be undeniable. I want to be so good at what I do that nobody can come afterwards and say, but actually, the only reason why you got this, this, and this is because this person was sick, this person, like, didn't show up, the judge was extra nice to you. So yeah, so I completely get that. And I think once, like I say, when you get to our level, it's like so important so that you know that you won on your own merit, because otherwise it's just a handout.
Exactly. I feel like right now the powerlifting space is growing and getting more and more competitive, but it's not competitive enough to be like, oh, if so and so does bad, there's still a whole bunch of other people who could possibly beat you. It's like, no, there's only a couple names here, and if for whatever reason they have a bad day, I'm just automatically next in line to win. It doesn't mean I'm good. It just means I was the next best one. But I want to be like, no, like I won because no fucking person there could catch me on the day.
Yes, completely. And and I think more and more people are coming in with that. Or well, the people who I think compete on a higher level and the people who aim to compete on a higher level understand that. Because I always like, there's like a divide that I like to like point out, like a divide between powerlifters is you get lifestyle powerlifters and you get athletes. And where a lifestyle powerlifter, and I don't mean that rude to anyone watching this who is a lifestyle powerlifter, I have massive respect for you. It's still a difficult sport, but it's the difference between maybe them celebrating a win because, somebody fell out or bombed out all their things versus we go into a comp and it's like, exactly what the other person is going to do. You're not the best lifter between the two of you. And you win because of a technicality. It's like, it's such an empty win. It's not a victory at all. It's just a formality then.
It's a formality. It's like, okay, cool. I get to take the shiny trophy home, but it's deep in the closet somewhere where I can't actually.
Yeah, we don't talk about that trophy. It's just like, it's just there.
Don't talk about that. When I beat so and so though, that was me.
Yeah. No, because this is such a brag. Sorry, I've never competed in a competition and lost. Like, I've always won overall female. And I so want to compete somewhere and lose. I want that so bad. I want to give my best and lose.
We'll see. I have a feeling Elite Raw next year, given the competitive nature of what
I'm gonna get my shit wrecked at Elite Raw next year, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be very fun.
I'm maybe gonna see you there. I think my invite is the one that's a little on flux. Yours is basically guaranteed. My mind depends on a couple factors.
I'm holding thumbs for you so we can like have our beef play out in front of people. That would be cool.
It'll be fun though. It'll be fun.
Listen, Danielle,
it was awesome having you on. Thank you for opening up and sharing so much of your experiences. In closing, do you wanna give a shout out to someone, your sponsor, give a coupon code?
I do have a few things that I want to shout out. Thank you for asking. My plugs. So Klara Stain got diagnosed recently with IIH, which is a optic nerve disorder or something like that. I'm not very well read up on it, but she has a backer buddy. So if anyone watching this has some extra money lying around, if they want to donate to her backer buddy, that would be really cool. And then Travis Gamble Fitness is having a sale going on until the 27th of November. So if you want a tibia bar or if you want a deadlift jack or anything like that, you can get that for a 15% discount, I think. So definitely go check out the sale. And then obviously,
I'm getting that tibia bar. That looks sick.
It's really cool.
I swear my ankle range of motion is the only thing that stands behind me in a 15 kilo boost to my squat right now. I swear.
Oh man, same. I also have my ankles are useless. They can only do like this a little bit, but yeah, no, feel you. So get the tibia bar for 15% off. And then obviously Jorgo. If you use code DAN10, so DAN10, you get 10% off of your purchase, and keep your eyes peeled because they are going to be launching something very cool very soon on their website or to their catalog. So definitely keep an eye on them. And then, yeah, and then Genesis Barbell here in the Cape. I know you went to go train there for a few days. And isn't it the coolest gym ever?
Best gym ever.
It's such a cool gym. So if you are going to be in Cape Town again between the 12th and 18th of December, they have a promo going on where you can bring a friend for free. So if you have a friend like that has already a membership at Genesis, you can go train for free for that week. So definitely check that one out.
That's some good value right there. All of that is going to be in the description down below for you guys to check out, as well as Danielle's handle, which was at the beginning of the show, and it'll be in the description down below.
Please throw me a follow.
And if you guys want to have her back to answer some specific questions, go ahead and pop them in the comment section below, and we'll get a little list down.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, Edgar. This was lovely. I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, you will be seeing me when my dots kicks your dots' ass is what's going to happen.
I think I'm going to be dead before then.
Screw you.
But I love the enthusiasm.
All right, cheers. I'll chat to you real soon, Dan.
Okay, thanks, Edgar. Chat soon.